FChristopher100 here, and now I'm going to be doing one of my reviews on video games. You know what review I'm going to be dealing about? I'm going to be dealing about the Street Fighter 2 on the Super NES. Yeah, it's a good game, and it's fantastic. And people who played it in the arcades in the 90s, awesome. I mean, my brother, when he was like my age, he played in the arcades when he was young, Street Fighter 2 and also a bunch of other arcade games. But when it came out for the home console, it was, the controls were like ridiculous. I mean, when I played on the Super NES, I said, come on, what the, okay. Now I'm about to show you how the Super NES version cannot be dealt with the Street Fighter 2. I'm going to show you how the controls are messed up and all wrong. Also, I have the NES, Super Mario Brothers, Duck Hunt, and Track Me. I also have Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis. Okay. Let's put Street Fighter 2 on and see how the controls work and also how the game is on the Super Nintendo. Let's begin. Street Fighter 2, The World Warriors. Yeah, when this game came out, everyone was excited. Well, not very excited, but the sequel to the first Street Fighter that came out for the arcade and also on other systems also came out for this. Okay, let me begin. You can choose between versus battle or games or starting game, but you can also first change the option. Well, just for you to know, the controls are really bad that it's kind of almost impossible to even go on the harder levels. So just to tell you, I'm just going to start at the easy level so it wouldn't be too hard, because the controls, when I tried them, they are so horrible. Okay, let's begin. Okay, now I'll begin with the character Ryu. Now I'll be fighting Ken. Yeah, you notice that this is a simple game of action and fighting. Yeah, we're all expecting that. Now, for being on the Super Nintendo, Street Fighter happens to be very, very good while working with the buttons and also the left and right pad, but the directional control button that you move Ryu with, you move the characters with, are horrible. I'll show you why. You see, every time I jump forward, oh, jeez, man, you gotta be kidding me. Now I'll show you. You see, every time I jump back, it works. But every time I try to jump forward, it keeps... I'm trying to jump forward right now. And you see? Not trying to lose. You see that? I've been jumping forward and I could have won this match. But because of the terrible controls of the directional pad, it's completely messed up. I'll show you what I mean. You see, while you're working the 4 button controllers, which is very easy to control, this ridiculous directional pad that you just have to squeeze so hard just to play the game. I don't know how it works, but when I play Street Fighter 2 on any other console, like my Wii console, or download a virtual Wii console, or like on the computer if you download like emulators and stuff, or if you play it on the Sega Genesis, the controls are good. And speaking of this, but with this, It's ridiculous. Well, the point is, I bought this one, but this is like a second pad controller. Like when you buy like a new one in the store, but the one they have for the Super Nintendo, it works a little bit, but this controller of the directional clad, the pad is flat, completely flat. Like you have to squeeze hard just to even try to use the controls. But you know, that's Super Nintendo for you. Okay, and speaking of the Sega Genesis, you must realize that when Street Fighter came out first time on consoles, they haven't been much, being more clear in the game. They had to add so much upgrades, and I'm about to show you one of the upgrades that I did with Crash Jack Fan 1994, Street Fighter 2 Special Championship Edition, on my next video.